Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando, that's Corey, and today we're doing 1982's Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Before we get started, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Corey_idol. And if you want to follow the show, you could follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Kiss the Reviews. Let's get into the cast of 1982's Fast Times. This film stars Sean Penn as Jeff Spicoli, Jennifer Jason Leigh as Stacy Hamilton, Judge Reinhold as Brad Hamilton, Robert Romanus as Mike Damone, Brian Backer as Mark Ratner, Phoebe Cates as Linda Barrett, Ray Walston as Mr. Hand, and Forrest Whitaker as Charles Jefferson.
And there is a hidden credited role for Nicholas Coppola, who would later become Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Which is like the fact everybody knows about this movie, so I'm just saying it before everybody comments. Like, hey, did you know Nicolas Cage used to go by Nicholas Coppola because he was cousins with Francis Ford Coppola? And it's like, dude, yeah, I get it. So there you go. Well, I know, no comments necessary.
Yes, and this was very, seeing him in the movie, he was in his Raising Arizona phase. Like this was the look that he had.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hurt anyone, sir.
This is one of the, 5 or 10 movies that is in constant rotation in my house. I own it on DVD.
Oh, yeah.
I own it on Amazon. Like I have different, in case the grid goes out or whatever, like I still got different versions of this thing where I could watch it pretty much no matter what happens.
You even got it on an old-timey motion picture reel.
I do. It's I have a little Nickelodeon in the garage, and it's just like it's pretty dope. You got to check it out.
Dig it.
But yeah, I mean, this thing is in constant rotation. I don't think I go 2-3 months without watching it, at least a little bit.
Yeah, this is one. I think when we got the request in, which again, thank you, April, for these incredible high dollar requests that are coming in.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, donators. Uncle Corey here. If y'all want to request a movie, love it. Absolutely love it. If you want to request it on PayPal, I love it even more. But you know what gets my nips hard? Is seeing $100 motherfucking dollar requests come in randomly for a bomb-ass movie.
Yes.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about, April.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Respect.
Hell yes.
And before we get into it, I gotta say this, because every prepubescent to pubescent teenager out there, they remember Phoebe Cates. Right, they remember the first time they saw this movie, and they remember Phoebe Cates in the pool scene and yada yada. I likened Phoebe Cates to 9/11. Like every 13, 14-year-old boy knows exactly where they were the minute they saw her come out of the pool.
And the world changed forever after that day.
Absolutely, especially for Judge Reinhold. So
yeah. Every prepubescent boy watched this movie and went, wait a second. That's not pee. What is that?
That's gross.
Oh, it was a ghost.
There was a ghost! There's ectoplasm!
Let's get into this movie. So, this movie opens with shots from the mall, the place where everyone used to hang out at. Now it's a place that you go when the zombies come.
This is what I'm going to do, because most people have seen this movie. So any kind of scene that actually I feel like I can relate to, I'm going to tell you embarrassing shit we used to do when we were these kids. Because this is about as close as we could get to a movie that really encapsulate what it was still like for us as teenagers, 10 years later after this movie came out, to go through this kind of same shit. Well, for Armando, 5, because he's so fucking old. But for me, it was 10 years later, but it still was very relevant. We used to go to Arrowhead Mall in Trash Bag, Arizona, and there was a Johnny Rockets in there. and we would literally order French fries and milkshakes and hit on waitresses non-stop. It was literally like the scene of like everybody at the mall, like, hey, can I get a milkshake and your phone number? That was us. Only there was no statutory rape involved.
Yes.
We were not 26-year-old stereo salesmen.
Yeah. Now I have two really good recollections of the mall from my youth. One is going to the mall with your parents, and there was an arcade called Time Out, and your mom would literally just give you a fistful of quarters and go play. I'm going to go do shit. And then you were just there for a couple of hours, just, playing Mortal Kombat or whatever the hell. And then I don't know about you, but I also had a job at the mall later on in life.
Really?
When the mall was still a thing. And I worked at Structure, of all places. Me at Structure, but whatever. But those are my two memories. But this is when the malls were like a thing, and everybody went to the malls. Everybody apparently had jobs at the mall. The movie theater, the pizza place, the fucking All-American Burger was off there was a single like rooftop thing off the mall, but everybody worked in the fucking mall. Everybody hung out at the mall. And it starts cutting to all the characters so we can get a good mix and see who the characters are. You get Mike Damone, who's scalping tickets, looking like Buckaroo Banzai out there. You got Linda and Stacy working at the pizza place. Stacy getting hit on by a 26-year-old with literally zero game. And we then cut to finally Brad, who works at the All-American Burger, where Spicoli and the Burnouts hang out.
And if I could just do this real fast.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, 18, 19-year-old friends of 15-year-old friends. Don't pressure them into fucking doing crazy shit like fucking a dude 11 years older than they are to lose their virginity on a bench looking at surf Nazis rule above their fucking head. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. I know, like, when younger people look up to you and they think you're really cool, you kind of exaggerate your maturity. But this is fucking absurd. Yeah. She's 15.
And can we talk about, in a few scenes, we see her and Chode Boy from the mall go to the point. And, I think every city had like a makeout point or something. I don't know if that was a Midwest thing or this takes place in California, but whatever. Everybody had a place where like you would drive to hang out, and, like make out or bang or do whatever. The point is a baseball dugout where you just take chicks to bang on the bench where, Little League was just getting played.
Yeah, well, it was either that or the river, which is just a canal where fucking stray dogs eat rabbits and homeless people. So she kind of lucked out. It was more romantic this way.
Okay. No candles though. No candles.
No.
We then see the characters. They're all at school. We're introduced to Mr. Hand. Spicoli walks into class late. Mr. Hand is a dick, like most baby boomer teachers that I've ever had. And they have their little back and forth. And this sets up their like arc throughout the rest of this movie.
Oh, dude. Mr. Hand, it's so funny because watching this younger, you're just like, you're such a fucking dick. And now I watch it and I'm like, I kind of get it. These fucking animals are out of control. I mean, look, it's well documented that I am the fuck kids guy on this show, but that adheres to like young adults. Fuck y'all too, you fucking psychos. I haven't met a teenager that wasn't a fucking sociopath.
You dick!
I'm still like, fuck Mr. Hand. People like Mr. Hand and teachers like that are the reason I have this lack of respect for authority to this day.
Yeah, no, that's the reason. That's the reason. Okay. It's your fault, Father Tony.
Well, him too. I don't like what happened. Don't like it. In the cafeteria, they show Stacy and Linda. They're discussing blowjobs at lunch, and they practice on carrots. And afterwards, in biology class, they show Mark, who's obviously into Stacy. And after it cuts to Damone's house, Mark tells Damone about Stacy and how much he likes her. And Damone teaches him about how to pick her up by sending out a vibe. And I have a quick don't do that here.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, literally everybody. And you can throw Linda into this and Damone into this. Anybody who's like, hey, I got the dentist system. I got what? Whoever has a system, a vibe that they want to put out there that, you know, it's like this gets chicks, or if you do this for dudes, don't listen to any of these people because they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. These people, especially dudes, because all people like Damone do is put out their vibe to a million people, and if one says yes, then the vibe works. No, you send off this very like creepy, rapey vibe. It's not this cool vibe that you think it is.
No, you're giving stalker eyes, bro. Like, there's a difference. Like,
yes.
Yeah, you know, look, if you want to know how to pick up chicks or pick up dudes as a kid, just say hi, because you're all horned up psychopaths.
Yes.
It's that easy.
That's the best advice out there.
Having the courage just to say hi was usually enough to get you to the next steps.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
just through the natural, organic flow of life, that's how it happens.
And
because
even
the second you're like, hi, I'm zit-faced teenage boy, her basement floods. Or hi, I'm fucking zit-faced teenage girl, his dick goes, doing.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
And as shy and nerdy or whatever as Rat is in this movie, all he does is go, hey, I'd like your number. Do you want to go out sometime? And she immediately says yes, because most people that age don't even have the stones to ask.
Well, and what's funny about this, if you notice, he literally asked the exact same way Ron Johnson asked her for her phone number earlier. Yep. The only difference is he's like a fucking 15-year-old virgin, and he's a 26-year-old fucking man.
Yes. Exactly.
That tells you all you need to know about it.
We then cut to like 2 months later during the holidays. Stacy hasn't heard from Ron Johnson. Damone is getting hit up by the local football star, Charles Jefferson, for Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets, while giving Mark more advice on getting Stacy to go out with them. And then this is where Mark clumsily asks Stacy out, and she says yes. Brad then gets fired after threatening a customer, and then his girlfriend breaks up with him at like a pep rally for the football team. After this whole movie, he had been planning on breaking up with her. And then she turns the tables on him. And this starts his like slide throughout this movie of just like bad shit happening to him. You know, life.
Yep. He's actually been given a gift here, because he's discovering early on that most people don't actually give a fuck about you or your feelings.
Yes.
Your boss that you thought you were super close with, he doesn't fucking care about you. He's trying to save his own ass and make his nut. He don't fucking care about you. Your girlfriend, she's a fucking piece of shit anyway. She seemed boring as fuck. She did you a favor, homie. But she obviously didn't care about you, because the second you lost a job, she's like, deuces. That sounds like ex-wife number one to me. It's just, and he's learning a valuable lesson here. And this is the one thing I would like to caution people.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, complainers at restaurants trying to get your $2.49 back. Uncle Corey here.
It says 100% guaranteed, you moron.
You may think you won your victory and you're cool because you got the teenage guy fired, who already said he's going to whoop your fucking ass if you keep running your mouth.
Yes.
Now think about the fact that he's leaving the same time you are. To all the Brads of the world, stop and wait for that guy that got you fired to come outside that building and whoop his ass.
Hell yes.
You got nothing left to lose. Beat his fucking head in. Take his $2.49. He just got back from that breakfast, and go get yourself one.
Yes.
And then you know 100%. What you do? You walk into Dennis. You say, "Hey, I want a breakfast." You take 2 bites and go, "This shit's undercooked. Give me my money back, bitch." Because now you're the customer.
There you go.
Life lesson.
So it then here cuts to the date with Mark and Stacy. It goes well, even though Mark forgets his wallet at home and he calls Damone to go to his house to get it for him. And they get back to Stacy's house where she invites him in. And it does not go well for Mark. She's in there. She asks him to unzip her. She gets into a robe. They start to make out. Mark gets nervous and leaves. And I say that he gets nervous. I honestly think he just had a spooky ghost in his pants. Like I think. Some things happened, and he was like, "Fuck, I gotta bounce."
There was an ejaculate that was produced prematurely, I think is what Armando's trying to say.
Yes, there was ectoplasm in his underwear.
There's ectoplasm.
I have to say, there would have been ectoplasm in my underwear when I was 15 years old too. And a girl my own age expertly seduces me.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, unzip my dress. This is Mrs. Robinson experienced woman shit. You had sex one time.
Yep,
and you're like, undo my dress? Want to come in my room and look at pictures? Oh, look at this. I'm in my robe. Ooh. Bitch, you know what you're doing. And good for Stacy for just being like, "Hey, man, I kind of like to fuck." That's kind of dope.
I mean,
Stacy's of this world were my favorite people. Like, if you're trying to figure yourself out, this guy, because I am not a long-term solution.
Corey's never been a long-term solution.
Shit, no. Only thing I got long-term is debt, motherfucker. That's it.
We cut to the scene where Spicoli and Jefferson's little brother steal Jefferson's Firebird. They take it out for a joyride. They get stoned. They wreck it. And they doctor it up to make it look like the rival school that the football team is playing here in the next week. Looks like they did it. They show Jefferson coming out to see his car. He loses his shit. And then cut to the football game. And he literally murders everyone on the field during the football game.
Smartest idea ever. And I have no idea how Spicoli's brain dead ass came up with that, because it was fucking genius. If you showed him a football, I think he'd try to fuck it. I don't like, but at the same time, he did a really good job coming up with this plan.
This is the definition of lemons into lemonade. Like, this is probably the worst thing that could have happened after borrowing somebody's car. And yeah, this is definitely lemons into lemonade. And again, to your point, how Spicoli comes up with this plan is beyond me.
You dick!
After this, we then get the actual famous pool scene.
Yes.
Not the one from a couple weeks ago, not the Showgirls pool scene, the actual famous pool scene where Brad gets home from his new job as a pirate and he dreams about Linda coming out of the pool and she catches him jerking off in the bathroom. In which, by the way, okay, we'll talk about this scene, but I have a quick don't do that before we do.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, grown-ass men. Like, Brad's what, 19 in this film, roughly?
18. He's about to graduate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's about to graduate. So he's 18. And you're, like, all horned up, and here's your sister's friend who's also around your age, and you have this little daydream of her coming out of the pool. I'm not going to say don't do that. We've all been there. It happens. But if you're going to jerk it, lock the door behind you. What kind of caveman animal are you where you're not locking the bathroom door when you're when you're jerking off? What kind of shit is that? That's rookie. That's rookie shit.
Yeah. Especially when you take into consideration, like, you're a teenager, dude. The worst thing that a teenage boy can be seen doing or caught doing is flogging his log. So lock the goddamn door. That's 100%. What everybody does. It's insane.
Yep.
That being said, the amount of DNA that is around my childhood home on like the ceiling of the bathroom because of my older sister's friends.
So we cut back to school. Spicoli continues to annoy Mr. Hand. Spicoli arranges for like the pizza delivery in the middle of class. Mr. Hand takes the pizza away, gives it to the students in class. Stacy then tells Damone after school that she's into him. He walks her home. They plan to get in the pool, but they start making out in the pool house, and then they have sex, and Damone comes in about 3 seconds and then immediately dips.
Yeah, you start to see how big of a fucking farce all of Damone is, just as a human being. The second she's like, oh, do you want to take your clothes off? And he's like, you first. Be a motherfucking man. Take your goddamn clothes off. What do you wear? You're there.
Yes.
Take them off.
Yeah, I'm getting undressed as quickly as Mark Wahlberg in Fear. Like, that's how quickly I'm getting undressed.
Shit, yeah, like Clark Kent in a phone booth, son. We're doing this.
Absolutely. Like, this whole thing, and just a quick bit of advice, not a don't do that or a PSA, but just for the youngsters out there, this guy, this Damone guy, and everybody knows a guy like him, he is full of shit, and scenes like this is exactly who they really are.
Yep.
At the end of the day. So
every time.
Just throwing that out there. But Stacy then later tells Damone that she's pregnant, she's going to have an abortion. She asked Damone to pay for half and also give her a ride to the clinic.
$75 and a ride for an abortion? Jesus Christ. Where were you when I was growing up? God damn, a dream woman that loves unprotected fucking promiscuous sex and is cool with like a $75 fucking abortion on my side and some gas money? Shit, yes.
And Damone agrees here, but he's broke even though he sells scalped tickets. Something tells me he buys these tickets for like $10 and then sells them for like $12 a piece. Like, he's not making a lot of profit on these tickets. If he even has the tickets to begin with. But he agrees, and then he stands her up because he can't come up with the money. And he's got all these people listed where he's calling, you owe me 50 and you owe me 20. And then, okay, here's another quick don't do that. And this is just on business practices alone.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, entrepreneurs and ticket scalpers and whatever your business is, okay? You're selling goods and services and whatnot. You need the money when the goods and services are provided. There's no IOUs, I'll pay you Thursday, I'll gladly pay you on Thursday for a hamburger today. None of that shit. What are we doing here? This just goes to show me that not only does Damone know nothing about women, he knows nothing about business. He knows that he wants to be an entrepreneur and work for myself. You know who Damone is? He's a cubicle guy, okay? He's the gas station attendant. He's the guy with big dreams that has no idea how to execute any of it and does zero research into how to do it.
Yeah, he's going to go prematurely bald and is going to cruise the goddamn mall for chicks for the rest of his life.
You were right.
From another point of view, I have this cautionary thing to throw out there.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, fellas. Uncle Corey here. If you agree to make a date and go to the abortion store for the afternoon, show up and go to the fucking abortion store, for God's sakes.
Yes.
I mean, Fuck, dude. I know the whole, like, if you're man enough to stick it in, you should be man enough to raise a child. Fuck that. I'm not man enough to raise a child. But you know what I am man enough to do? Is give you $75 and drive your happy ass to the fucking abortion store. I can sure do that.
My Satan sense is tingling.
Not for nothing, but if you can't come up with the money, I'm not saying that's okay, because I don't care if it's 82, I don't care if it's 2002 or 2023. If you can't come up with $75, you might want to get a job. But with that said, I can't come up with the money. I'm a poor. I don't, whatever. At least give the poor girl a ride to the damn abortion store. Can we do that? Can we at least do that and just go, you know what? That's on me, because she ends up having the money and paying anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just pick her up and give her a ride, because now she's stuck and has to have her brother give her a ride, and she like sneakily goes into the clinic, and then he realizes what's going on. So and this is the cool thing. So Brad pulls a really cool like big brother thing here, where he's like, hey, I waited around. I know what's going on. This is between us. You want to go get something to eat? We're never talking about this again. Like, that's the way to handle this situation as an older sibling.
And he asked just one time, you want to tell me who the guy is?
Yep.
No? Okay. And then we're done talking about it.
Yep.
Fine.
Absolutely.
I kind of wish he would have told him the guy's name, though.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Judge Reinhold.
I would have. Yep.
I would have loved to see Judge Reinhold beat that ass. That would have been a good scene. So Stacy here tells Linda about what happened, and Linda takes matters into her own hands, and she spray paints prick on his car, little prick on his locker, etc. Later, Damone and Mark get into a fight over Stacy in the locker room. After Mark hears about Damone and Stacy, they square up in this 30s style boxing, put up your dukes kind of way, but it's broken up immediately by a teacher. And I will say this. In high school, I don't know how high school is today, because it's been a long time since I've been there. So, but when we were in high school, if there was a fight that started, like if you were like me and not a very strong, strapping young man, you could square up on somebody and that fight's going to get broken up with maybe 1 to 2 punches thrown, not even landed. There's going to be a teacher or somebody's going to jump in. So as a weakling like me, you could be like, yeah, fuck your mother, and then start to get into it because you know the shit's getting broken up. So Mark does the right thing here because that shit gets broken up with a quickness.
Yeah, it does. I got jumped a lot, so no, it did not get broken up fast. It took them a long time to take like 3 or 4 people off of me. But that's neither here nor there.
I went to a private school, so it was like, hey, buddy.
I went to Cranbrook.
I did go to Cranbrook. Hey, buddy, put up your dukes. And then the shit got broken up. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's not.
I basically went to Penitentiary High.
Later on, Stacy and Mark are paired up on a biology class field trip to observe an autopsy performed by their biology teacher, Mr. Vargas, Mr. Vincent Schiavelli. At least he's not doing a horrible like Indian impersonation this time. So he's just doing like the weird. And this was like his character as an actor. He always played like the weird, eccentric teacher or whatever. Like that was his lane. And he starts like digging into this corpse. Stacy runs out sick. Mark helps her out, and she's very thankful.
I think Mark is setting himself up to be a cuck in about 5 to 10 years.
That's fair.
Dude, she's boning out your friend. You get into a fight with the friend like it's his fault. And I got to be honest with you, like Damone does everything incorrectly here, except for one thing. He says, Mark, she's a little bit aggressive. And he's right.
Yes.
It's not a bad thing, It's not a bad thing at all. But also, Damone kind of knows his friend. And Mark kind of knows who he is, too, as a person, which is why he ran out when he actually had a shot at it.
Yeah.
So he's not wrong. She's a little aggressive. You are just big. Like, why do you still like this girl? This is the one thing I don't understand. Like, Damone even says, Mark really likes you. Do you like him? And she goes, well, I think I like you. If I'm Mark, I'm out.
You're right again.
Like, that's cool. You guys have fun, but I'm done. And
fair.
I'm not going to be your little buddy. Where I'm not going to be like, oh, are you okay? Did you get sick and need me to run your back? Nah, bitch, go find a girl to rub your back.
Well,
where's Linda at? Where Linda at? Hey, Stacy, where Linda at? Because I ain't helping you do shit.
School here is coming to an end. Mr. Hand takes some revenge on Spicoli by visiting him at his home on the night of their graduation dance, and he gives him an American history lesson. After doing surprisingly well on this, Mr. Hand tells Spicoli that he'll probably just squeak by.
You'll probably squeak by.
Yeah. Aloha, Mr. Hand.
I liked the scene. It was a nice turn of Hand. I like that that Mr. Hand is like, hey, you know what? I'm going to take up your fucking time now. Because Spicoli, while we are like on his side through this, you know you're wiling out in class ordering pizzas and shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you know what you're doing. So this is where even if you don't like Mr. Hand, you're like, good on you, Mr. Hand, because one, he gets his little revenge here and shows him fair play, but also he still lets him pass the class. He's not like, and you still fail. Fuck you. I'm awesome.
Well,
which is probably what I would have done.
as a teacher, Mr. Hand doesn't seem like he wants to, like, he's reaching out because he doesn't want to fail him, because he doesn't want to have this piece of shit in his class again.
Exactly.
As much as I hate Mr. Hand and people like him, I'm with him 100% here. Like, hey, just show me you've learned fucking one thing and I'll let you pass, because God damn it, if you're going to be in my class one more fucking time, like, that shit ain't happening.
I think that's how your man passed with the C average senior year.
We cut to this graduation dance, shows everybody. Damone and Mark speak to each other here. They squash their beef. And then it cuts to Stacy working at the pizza joint. She sees Mark working at the theater. She waves him over, gives him a picture of herself, kisses him, tells him to call her over the summer. And this is a question I need to ask you, given that you're so much younger than me. Did you guys do this? Like, your school pictures, like, give them to your friends or people, whatever, write your number on the back. Did you guys ever do that?
No. We signed yearbooks. I got a shitload of numbers in my yearbook. It was like, oh, call me over the summer. And like, there was a lot of like, kind of that implied innuendo or the implication, if you will, that there was going to be some fun had if you called during the summer. But no, I like never got an individual wallet-sized picture.
So
that's absurd.
When this didn't happen in high school for me, because yearbooks and things, like, you would sign the yearbook and then you'd write your number in the yearbook, if whatever. Like, in grade school, like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, that happened because we didn't have yearbooks. Like, yearbooks weren't a thing until high school. So when I saw this scene, I was like, oh, was that like a thing? Because that wasn't a thing in my high school.
Maybe just nobody wanted to talk to me over the summer in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade.
You didn't get the individualized, like, here's my picture.
My face didn't grow into my nose until about freshman year of high school. So,
Gotcha.
I was just all nose the whole time.
So meanwhile, Brad is working at his new job at a convenience store. Spicoli walks in, he makes his purchase, uses the bathroom, and as soon as he walks away, this dude comes in to rob the place at gunpoint. Spicoli walks out from the bathroom complaining that there's no paper towels. Brad throws a pot of hot coffee in the robber's face, jumps the counter, takes the gun away, holds him at gunpoint. Brad's like the big hero. And then the movie ends with what happens next in each of the characters' lives. And this is where you get the little cards with all the words and you got to read and things here.
This is the one thing that I think they just kind of skipped right over is Damone and Rat are like, they make up, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey man, I'm really sorry. I was out of pocket, blah, blah, blah. They shake hands. We're still friends. Cool. Rat doesn't know about the abortion yet from anyone. He
Yes.
knows you fucked.
Yeah.
That's it. So now at some point in time, there will be a conversation about you having ditched Stacy during her abortion and not paying for anything, leaving her out to fucking dry, not knowing how she got home, if she was going to get home, on down the line. Man, you guys are not going to be friends.
You were right.
You got into a fight with Rat because you fucked a girl he liked.
Yes.
That's not really a thing. Leaving her at the abortion clinic by herself and to pay for it is a thing.
Yeah. No,
you
absolutely.
should apologize to her. And she just gets
100%.
left like, hey man, you know, bitches be tripping.
Bitches be tripping.
You can mention the abortion thing, but it's none of Rat's business. What you really need to do is go to Rat and go, hey, because she's at the dance.
Yeah.
So you go to Rat and go, hey, my bad. And then you go to Stacy like, hey, really I'm a piece of shit. You got to fall on the sword. But you're right. She just gets fucked in this whole apology thing.
Yep.
The only thing at the end is like Mark and Stacy date for a few months and they just do over the clothes stuff. Like that's literally the only thing that she gets at the end.
They exchanged purity rings and are now doing butt stuff. But other than that, they're leaving a Christian lifestyle.
They're now practicing soaking.
That's it, young man. No Bible stories for you tonight.
Look, man, this it's classic.
Yes.
It is the quintessential teenage comedy. I don't know a teenager now that watches this movie and still is like, I just can't relate to anything. They all can relate to this. Obviously, the people that came out of this movie were fucking mega stars.
Yes, it's littered with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic. Everything about this movie is great. It is truly an 80s movie. Does it stand the test of time? Yes and no. I think it is very female sex positive, which I think stands the test of time. There is no slut calling or shaming or any kind of horror kind of attitude towards anybody. It's just like, I'm a young girl exploring my sexuality, and Linda is kind of her Sherpa on this adventure.
You were right.
So yeah, I guess that's just kind of the long-winded version of me saying that this is one of those rare movies that actually does stand the test of time and yet is significantly dated. It's amazing how they're able to do it.
Yeah.
Which is a credit to the writers, because all writers are heroes.
This one was invented by a writer.
I love this movie. Like at the end of the day, I fucking love this movie. Watched it a million times. I still, again, like you said, it's dated because of the look. But as far as the content, it still holds up. There's still, listen, for high school kids and teenagers, there's always this weird thing with sex and like confidence in yourself, and you're awkward. And as long as the movie has those aspects to it, like it'll still hold up. Like that will never stop being a thing.
Right.
So, I mean, the writing was really good. The movie was shot really well. Obviously, like you said, as well, this thing is littered with superstars. So it's not like there was any drop off with the acting. The acting was all fantastic. And even like Sean Penn in this, which I'm not a huge Sean Penn guy. Like I'm not like, yeah, let's go watch that new Sean Penn movie. But even him in this, he's fantastic. Like everybody just does a great job. And like you said, it still holds up, even though it might look a little dated. My son loves this movie, which tells me that it still holds up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's all I got. Thank you for the request. Obviously, we like the high dollar donations and that kind of thing. So we're getting this out ASAP. But yeah, thank you for the request. And if you're going to do a request like this is how to do it. Requesting a movie like Fast Times makes us, it warms my cold, dead heart. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm happy in exchange for money and good movies to review. I will continue to relay horribly embarrassing stories about my childhood because I have no pride left.
I like it. Well, I'm assuming that's all you got. So that's all I got for this one. But with that said, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1982's Fast Times at Ridgemont High.